There you have Magdala. Good morning, people. This is quite the climb. I almost came straight up here. Great exercise. Years ago I did that heart test and you had to go on a treadmill and keep increasing the intensity, and this was like that machine. It was a good exercise. We're in a different type of terrain than normally down beside the lake. Oh, look at this here. Hyrax running around, but let's see if there's another one. They're usually in families. Maybe you saw it. It was in the rock in the middle of the screen. Right now, they're towards the west end of Magdala, of the building. So I'm not sure if we'll see another one. You can scroll back to that time and see it later on when it's posted. I think it was a Hyrax. It was moving quickly. We have very nice flora also, and beautiful. Also, this is an older version, I think, of, or a different. There's a sage plant here as well. I don't think that qualifies, but I'm sure we'll see more of it as we walk along here. I saw a bunch of it this morning. So here we are. We're in a very special day today, so it's reason to get up higher because he comes lower for us. That's the big rock we see from down below. It looks like a big tower, actually, depending on the perspective. We play around with that word a little bit because in Hebrew, tower is Migdal, which is the name of this place historically, besides maybe the original name being Tarichea for the fish processing of the Hellenic period. Have to negotiate where we go through here. Here comes the sun with different meanings. A young girl conceives a child. Here comes the sun. And the son of the Father. It's a very big day for all of creation. God is very close to creation always because we wouldn't exist without him. He's really not part of creation because he is the foundation of all of creation. And I'm going back again to that talk, that commentary on the Sunday readings that Bishop Barn gave. The link is still in the live streams today. And it ties in here very much. The one who is not yellow or red or brown or white or hot or cold or with a beginning or an end, but all the things that have these features and properties and many, many others are all founded by him. He's above and beyond and beneath and within all of these. He transcends and is totally immanent and totally transcendent of all of creation. Oh, there's a nice view of Mount Hermon. Maybe we'll get it better if the sun rises a bit more clearly. I imagine it's affected by the amount of cloud there is, and mountains usually get more of that. So there you have Mount Hermon, quite a chunk of it up there. Seems to be still snow covered, which would make sense. The coldest month for the water in the Sea of Galilee is April because of the meltwater. Hey, look at this blossoming and blooming here of springtime. Who knows what critters we could see here when they haven't been disturbed by human presence. For a day or two, they take great confidence roaming around. Maybe some wild boar, some deer, some gazelles. So now we're up on this platform. It's great to be on a platform after climbing a steep slope. And that's the outlook he has on the world when he comes down the steep slope and looks into our eyes, even from below us, looking up into his mother's eyes. and that the God of all creation would do this. This is the crazy notion that Christians entertain and firmly believe and deeply ponder and learn from as from paradigms for life and the meaning of life and the way of life. So if you want to explore a little bit more how our thinking works, this is it, very much so. Very much so. The one who created all of creation is not far away. He is Emmanuel, and that's actually a word used in today's first reading, to the King Ahaz, who figures he can do it himself. He doesn't need God's help that much. He has good plans and he's going to do it himself, so he's not going to do what the prophet asked him on behalf of God, to be open to a sign. He doesn't need any sign because he has it worked out himself in all his rational capacity and all his political cunning and all his wits. And so that may very well be the first meaning of the heir for Ahaz, this son that will be born from this girl. But in the reading of scripture as it goes forward, which we see in the letter to the Hebrews, quoting Psalm 40, which is also our psalm today, it's layer upon layer of understanding and growth, a new light, new growth here. This thorn bush is already fresh growth, you know. And a lot of things thread together here. A lot of expectation, a lot of hope for humanity. God does not abandon his people. He joins us totally in our lot. He is with us in all our need. It's interesting then in this context to see how his own local people were able to run him out of town yesterday. Well, they didn't actually physically run him out of town because he walked away through them, just as he came in to them in a silent way that nobody realized. And he was even thought to be the son of Joseph. What an amazing story. Amazing grace. Amazing grace. So sweet the sound. In our wretchedness, we needed help. And then the help wasn't a magic wand. The help was thousands of years in preparation, threading through the lives of broken people, listening and following growing inclinations, a rising sun, shedding more light. There's another great truth in all of this intervention of God, that he doesn't do it without our collaboration and freedom. That's an amazing, amazing truth of our faith. And the teaching of freedom that has become so strong in Christianity and often so contested by people who take into account the mighty limitations of our freedom, yet the freedom is authentic because that's the way the God of the Bible has treated humanity. You are free, you make your decisions, I give you instructions, follow them for life. And there we have Psalm 1, or abandon them. And we also have Deuteronomy at the end when Moses is telling, choose life, choose freedom. We have the ability to embrace life or reject it. And so in this whole story today, it's also the story of a girl. And not one of the famous ones of her people at that time. not too many had a connection with her on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. She was really unknown to the world. She was protected. She was reserved. A tabernacle for the new covenant. Ready to welcome and receive. And able to say yes to something so mysterious, so beyond her own cunning and charm and ability as to bring the Word through whom everything was made into her own tiny creaturehood and host and nourish him with her breathing and her bleeding and her arteries, and especially her love, and especially the word she spoke, which is also the word of Psalm 40, which is also the word of the letter to the Hebrews. Not my will, your will be done. Let it be done unto me according to your word. What marvelous words. Extraordinary. The drama here is one of the greatest dramas in the history of humanity, to be rivaled only by Holy Week, really, and the Passion, Death and Resurrection, the Incarnation. In that way, the Eastern Christians contemplate this mystery with such keenness and say the beachhead is already established. In that sense, humanity already is sure of salvation because he has landed on our beachhead. And no matter what forces of evil hold sway at the moment, it's done. There's no going back. It's done. It's clear. It's just, even though it's so tiny and so small and so lost, it's so beautiful, so precious, so incredibly intelligently designed. It's a plan that strategically, despite many tears and toils and troubles and temptations and testing, tribulation, but also thanksgiving, thumbs up, thought-filled, amazing task God undertook, and the human being seconded. That's the word for us. We second, we support, we participate, we are in the plan, we belong. We're not sidelined. God doesn't sideline us. He calls us. He calls us to get involved. He engages us. Are you ready? That's the big call. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let it be done unto me according to your word. God bless you. See you later, alligators. What a lovely morning. Happy feast day. We'll have more about this evening, God willing, in the homily at Mass. And now a little bit on Instagram.